Hello, everyone. Welcome to Marlene's How To's, another live that we have going for you today. And this is such an exciting time, guys. It's the fall season. So, of course, as I've always said, the fall is my second favorite season. The favorite one for me is actually Christmas time. And, guys, I have a lot of information for you today, a lot of useful information about prepping your house for the fall. It's not just about decorations, doing colors and stuff like that. It's also about the safety, your safety inside your home. So I would say that, if there's anyone out there that you figure, you may want to just tell them to come on and join, take a look and see what we're doing today, because it's going to be a lot of useful information. And this is really for the fall season. It takes you right over into the winter season as well. So I'm going to be looking at things that's inside the house that you will need to take care of, as well as things that are in your garden and just general stuff outside as well. So, like I said, if you know anyone that this might benefit, definitely just let them know to join, or, they can even come on and watch it after the live is over. So that way they can get that information as well. So if you're just joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just want to say thank you so much for joining. And we're going to go over all of that useful information. And as I always ask, guys, just go ahead and put the chat. There's a live chat right there. If you're not sure where to find it, just look under where where the thumbnail is a picture, and then you would just hit you hit comments, and you can put your comments there. Okay, so here's one right here. Bruce Lee, hello. And you says, I cannot believe it's already autumn. We're about to have autumn festivals. Yes, so that's definitely coming up. And of course, we definitely look forward to that. So I'm going to be going over the information with you. And, people come on and off the chat as is typical. So I may loop them at another time again, just to make sure that everyone has that information. So the first thing that we're going to do, of course, when we look forward to fall, it's in the air right now. There are different things that happen. We have those nice cool temperatures. So, it's a little bit more easy on you outside, not the heat of summer anymore. You have all of those fun things that we can do. And of course, it also brings it to the projects, because since the temperatures are suitable to be working out there, then what we can do is we can go ahead and, get those things done. So that way we can have it done before it gets really cold, and then you don't want to be outside. And it's not even practical sometimes to get some of those things done. So we're going to take a look at them. And of course, whether you're in an apartment, if you're in a townhouse, if you're in a small or large home, it doesn't matter. This is going to be useful information for you as well. So the first thing we're going to take a look at, and some of them will be sort of mundane in a sense, but at the same time, there are things that are necessary that you'll need to do. Of course, if you have someone that can take care of you, it's good to just know, so that we can tell them, and they can go ahead and help you with it. So the first thing is basically your air conditioning, the filters that you put in that. You'll want to make sure that you are getting those changed out for this new season, because over time they'll gather a lot of dust, lint, different things. If you have pet hair and all that kind of a thing, and so when it comes on, to the weather changing out, you'll want to make sure that you're changing your vents. And I did bring some to show you here. My husband says these are not the best ones that you have, but just to give you an idea of what they typically look like. This one, he says, is just like for pet hair, but of course you have the ones that are, they're a little bit more, the filters are stronger, so that way it helps to keep other things out that you don't want to filter into your house. So that's your as far as your your air conditioning filters go. You need to get those changed. The next thing again is like your batteries. Oh, hey, I see another lady here, another person, I should say. It's Clarissa Coward. Hi, Clarissa, how are you doing? Yes, it's very useful information. As you know, it's a home and garden channel for me, so I did a little bit of decorating, but I do a lot of gardening. So, and it's just around the house to keep you safe, and of course to make it beautiful, because I love pretty things. I know that you do too, because I've seen your videos. I know that you do too. We also got to be practical and make sure that everything is working the way it should. So I was just saying before that the vents, and I did show one. My husband said this is not the best kind. This is kind of like one that he uses over the regular ones. But the vents, the filters for your air conditioning unit, you want to make sure that you get those changed out. Whether you can do it for yourself or you can get someone to do it for you. Either way, it's something that needs to be done so the house is fresh. And also, especially if you have pets and they shed, when you turn the heat on, sometimes even if you don't have a pet, just lint in your house that gets in there somehow, you turn the heat on for the first time in the winter or in the fall, depending on how quickly it changes where you are, and you get that kind of a smell, so you know that there's things there that need to clear out. So yes, so we'll change that first. The filters for your air conditioner. And the next thing is the batteries for your smoke detector, your carbon monoxide detector, whichever ones you have. We actually have both, and it's good to just check them and make sure that the batteries are working. And if you can hear it chirping in the background, that chirping sound that they make sometimes, then it means that it's time to change your batteries and get some new one in here, because you certainly do not want to have it there and you think it's functional, and then the issue arises and it doesn't work. So it's a very basic step, but it's very important. So make sure that you change your batteries in there, especially, like I said, if you hear it chirping, you will definitely want to do that. And just make sure that that is secure for you there. And of course, you can do, like I was saying, you can do the smoke detector, and you can also do the carbon monoxide detector as well. Or if you just want to have the smoke detector alone, then that's fine. Just depends on what you can afford to do and what you're able to do in your space. And since we were talking about being safe in your home, from fires and things like that, I also wanted to mention that your chimneys, if you have a chimney in your house that you use a fireplace, and you use it quite often. It's more for ambience for us, so we don't like use it regularly, like all the time. If it's a wood burning one that you're using, you put the logs in there and so on, then you will definitely want to make sure that your chimney is clean. There are cobwebs that build up in there. They come in through the top. There are different things that can come in, and not only that, there's also a buildup of a chemical which can be dangerous, and it can actually make you sick, over time. So it's good to get the professionals to come on and to take care of that. They'll basically come in and they'll fix it for you and make sure that it's burning safely over there. And so what I wanted to show you was, since we're talking about burning and safety, is this right here. It's good to have one of these inside your home, a fire extinguisher. It's good to have that so that if anything like that ever happens, you have it to use. And I'll link it in the description box below. So after the live is finished, you can always go in and you can check to see, how you can get those. And I'll put the link for Amazon so you can get it on there. They come in different sizes too. This is a smaller one, so I can show you, this a little more handy. Like this one, we keep this one in our kitchen. And we have the larger one that we keep, like closer towards the garage, or, maybe even closer to the other side of your house where you may need to use it there. And just general safety, even in your kitchen as well, too. That's, very important. So that's as far as those go. So I'm going to have my husband just come and show you really quick how to use it. I'll take it out of here. We're not going to actually use it, of course. I'll let him come around and just show you. So let me just give you a second there. He can show you how to use it. So basically, there's a pin. If you turn it around, you'll see the pin. You have to pull the pin out first. So you take it out, and then you have the knob that's at the top. That is the knob that you would squeeze. But basically, you want to spray, whether from left to right or right to left, and you put it at the base of the fire. If you have a fire, we hope, God forbid, that you do have a situation like that arising. But if that ever happens, just make sure that you are able to use it, because sometimes you'll have something in your home and it's there, but you don't know how to use it. So, when the time comes, it's kind of like, okay, I don't know how to use it, so it's not really helping me anyway. So again, like I said, I'll put the link in the link is already in the description box below, so you can check that out, or you can get those on Amazon. And that's actually an affiliate link that I have that's on there. So that's as far as, that prevention goes, and that safety, that is something that you do need to take care of at your home. All right. So then the next thing, again, of course, it's kind of obvious, but it's good to go in and check, like, for spiders, because you may notice, like, in the fall season, they tend to come out a lot. I see them in my garden, and honestly, it's not that you're messy or anything. Spiders are spiders. If you have your door cracked for a few seconds and they can run right on inside of your house, then they're going to come in and they can, they stay in there. You don't even know that they are there. So kind of like look out for them. Cobweb the ceilings and so on. Make sure that all of those things are clear, so you're good to go with that. And especially if you have a garage, some people put a lot of stuff in their garage. There are a lot of stuff packed up in there. and they love to hide in those little places. So it might be a good time for you to go in as well too, and just clear out your garage. Just make sure that you don't have any spiders, or I think it's mostly them that we see though, like in the fall. That's the main culprit that I've seen sometimes. And of course, there are some of them that can be very dangerous. Some of them, they're just like a nuisance. You don't want to see them, itsy bitsy spider kind of thing. But there's some of them like the black widows and the brown recluse spiders that if they bite you, they can be quite harmful, and you don't want that to happen. So I would say definitely, check like your garage, make sure that's not there. If you see them, get something that you can spray them with, so that way, you can be okay and you can be comfortable in your space. So we went over the fire extinguishers, to see how to use those. So then, and of course, I'll be happy if you leave me a comment as to what you might be doing at your home to prepare for the fall season, and what's your favorite part about fall, about decorating and, just maintaining your house and all of the different things that is involved there. So then we're going to move on now. We're moved away from the maintenance stuff. The next thing is as far as to decorate your home. And it's a wonderful time. We have all of these lovely colors. You can see I did just a little quick thing here for you. And I recently did a video. You can check it out, once you're finished here, where I showed how to decorate my front porch, farmhouse style, because some people like glam, they like a lot of glitzy, the sparkles and glitter and all of that. And some people like the, farmhouse style. So it just depends on what your preference is. In recent times, I've been tending more towards farmhouse. And it also helps me to incorporate things from my garden or that I buy at the garden center as well too, to make the place beautiful. So whatever your style is, it's good to always get going ahead of time, especially if you decorate early for Christmas. So that way you have, your place decorated, and it can last you for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months or so, because I did mine, fairly early, as if you watch a video, so it's up and running. And it was a collaboration. It was a lot of fun. We had a really good time with that. So then that's as far as decorating it. And also, since we are talking about decorating your porch, I also talked about chrysanthemums. Those are, those are like a staple for Christmas. I'm sorry, for autumn, for fall, where you'll definitely want to have that. And they're easy, they don't require a lot. The main thing I would say, because they have a lot of blooms on them, you want to make sure that they get sufficient water, because just think about it. You have all of those branches coming out, the little stems coming out from the plant, and they're all in need of water, especially if you put them out early before the season gets really cool. Then you want to make sure that you're giving your chrysanthemums, a good amount of water. Don't overwater them though, because you don't want them to, have too much water, and then that causes root rot. So I definitely say just keep a balance, checking on them every now and then. Maybe like check them every other day just to see how they're doing. And it's the touch, like when you just touch the soil, just kind of touch it with your hand like that. And if you touch the soil and it's a little bit, dry, then it's time to water. If it's still moist, and just leave it, and you don't have to go in and do anything. It is good to go. You never ever want it to get to the point where the plant starts to just kind of like flop over like that. Then you know that you're definitely in trouble there. And but they can be rectified as long as it's still soft and the leaves are not crunchy. Then you can still go in and you can save that plant. So I would say, if that is happening to your plant, just go ahead and give it some water. And sometimes, you can always move it to an area that has a little bit more shade until it comes back up, and then you can put it back there again. So I did get another comment here. Bruce says, he says, clean your lawn of excess leaves, as that blocks grass from sunlight. Yes, and I'm actually getting to that as well too. And I do see Pastor Juanita on here. She says, hello, Marlene. Hello to everyone. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so happy to have you all, guys. And let's see now. Clarissa said, being an asthmatic. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. We are careful to change our filters. Yes. For our heat pump monthly. Oh, wow. So you have to do yours monthly, because I do mine at the change of the season. We do ours usually, in the fall that's coming up now. And we also do it in the spring, after the winter, we change it again. But you're saying that you have to change yours monthly. So that's quite a bit to remember. You also add filters to your individual vents. Yes, absolutely. And we change those seasonal. Okay, cool. So I got what you're saying now. So it's time for our fall change. Absolutely. So definitely, those are things to consider, when doing them. And sometimes it just seems like something that, you don't need to do, but you actually do. It helps you out in some way. It might not be the most obvious thing, but over time you'll see that it's definitely worth your while. And like I was saying, like to decorate your porch, or inside your home with all those beautiful colors. I've seen a lot of neutrals in recent times where people are not necessarily going for the warmer colors like I have here, like these. They're going for, more, I would say, like more neutrals, like maybe like beige and, browns and so on. A few little pumpkins here and there because it's really about the harvest. It's such a wonderful time of the year. So, people vary it and, they do what pleases them. And, it tends to match up. So, and also just as, Marilyn, I'm sorry, Clarissa Coward, she has a wonderful channel, guys. For those of you who are in the chat right now, you can just make a note of it. It's a cozy lifestyle with Clarissa Coward, and she does beautiful decorations inside her house. I tell you, her table settings, you have to see them. They're gorgeous. When you see how she decorates her, her like her I'd say now like her kitchen, like little nooks and areas in there like that. They're beautiful. So just make a note of her channel, A Cozy Life, with Clarissa Coward. Whenever you have any, like little spare time, it's a good way to relax and just watch someone decorate and inspire you, give you ideas and stuff you can do for yours. She says, I love both neutrals and warm colors because I've seen you do them both. So definitely. So you say you start off with neutrals, but as the season moves on, I add the colors. And that makes a lot of sense because I would say that, when you do it, a little too early. It might seem like it's a little too early. The leaves haven't changed yet. I did mine recently, my oranges and my burgundies and so on. But in my ear, the leaves are actually changing already. You're not going to see like a massive amount of them, but it depends on the tree type. Like the dogwood trees, the sugar maple, those are definitely, like halfway there already. And I just love, love, love watching it. I was going to Walmart earlier today and, I was just driving along. It was just so peaceful. There were a couple of people jogging on the side of the road, and I saw them. I just like, I just love this time. No, a lot of sweating, just a little bit, and all of that. And, it's just so relaxing, and there's so much to do as the season progresses. So definitely, you do what works, and as the season changes, and you go on and you add more things into it. So I have Smat says, hi, Marlene. Hi, how are you doing? So glad to have you. Welcome, welcome. We are talking about, maintaining your home and your garden, getting things done. A lot of them are small projects. Some of them might be a little bit larger, but they're very important things to do. So I'm just going to quickly go over them again. As I said, I'd wrap around because we're going to go through, different things. And just to make sure that, you don't miss the really critical things, which would be the first things that I talked about. And the first one was to change vents for your air conditioner, not the vents, I mean the over the vents, the filters, which I kind of showed, but they look like a little bit. Very important, guys. Actually, if you have pets and all of that, you want to make sure that you're changing those out as the season changes. The next thing was to change your batteries in your smoke detectors, as well as if you have a carbon monoxide detector, to change your batteries in there as well. And if it is chirping, then it means that you definitely need to get those changed. Remove cobwebs from your house. If you have a garage or you have a lot of stuff in there, it's not, like you can't see everything clearly. Be sure to check in there to make sure that there are no spiders in there because they love to come in. They come out in abundance, typically as the fall is coming in. So you want to make sure that you're watching out for that and to take care of those. You can get a professional to do it if you have phobias for spiders, just to make sure it's done. Watch out for things like the black widow, know how to recognize them with that hourglass red marking that's under their abdomen. That's, typically what those look like. And the brown recluse, well, you probably just have to look those up because they're big and they're brown, but you have to see what they look like. Not the most pleasant topic to talk about, but it's important to make sure that you are safe in your home, especially if you have small children too. You want our grandchildren, you want to make sure that they are safe. And then the other one was to your chimney, to make sure that your chimney, if you have a wood burning fireplace, you want to make sure that you get a professional to come in. It may be every 2 years or so, or depending on how you feel it, you would need it. But have a professional come in and get the chimney cleaned. And if you try to do it yourself, it can be dangerous. So be careful if you're going to do it. Remember that the dust too has some things in there that are what they call carcinogenic. They can be cancer causing. So you want to make sure that you're properly protected if you're going to try to do that yourself. But I definitely recommend getting the professionals on that one because it's important. Remember that buildup can be dangerous because it can cause fires in your house. And we did talk about like getting fire extinguishers. Make sure that you have at least one in your kitchen. And we have the smaller one too, which is this one here. And I did link them in the description box below. If you can get them on Amazon, you can buy them there for your safety inside your house. So I'm going in the comments as we go along. Bruce Lee says, also making space to move some of the plants inside in a few months. Yes, reaping the last of your crops, beans, and so on and so forth. So we're going to take a look at that as well too. So as far as decorating your house, and it doesn't have to cost you a whole lot either. You can always there are lots of good things at the dollar store. You can go to like you can go to Old Time Pottery. You can go to Joann's. All the different places, Hobby Lobby. But you can also find nice things at the dollar store too. That you can go and you can get them and decorate your space and make it look really, really nice. So that's as far as getting those items for decorating goes. And just to say that as far as the holidays coming goes, that I do product reviews. So and I do give you my honest opinion. So if you ever have a product that you want to have reviewed, feel free to check out my email contact information. It's in my description box below, and it's also on the About You section of my channel. And also I have an autumn playlist there as well too, guys. So be sure to check those out because it shows you like how to get your plants in the garden, to take care of them, how to get your chrysanthemums to come back every year so you don't have to keep spending a ton of money buying them every time. There are lots of different things there. So the playlist is there. Just go to my channel icon, tap on there, you'll see videos, and you can look for under the playlist section, and you can pull up my autumn video playlist. So Marilyn Clarissa Coward says, I planted a lemon tree in a pot this spring. Not sure how to maintain it over the winter. Any suggestions? That is so funny that you said that because my sister actually did that, but she did hers from seed, and I was so impressed with it. She did such an awesome job with it. She put the seed in and it grew, and it has maybe like, I saw her yesterday, I think it was, and I think it had maybe like about 4 leaves on there. So it's coming up. But for those, they are definitely tropical. So if you are in an area where you get hard freezes on there, Clarissa, I would say definitely make sure that you are bringing that plant in. Now, they are tropical and they do need sunlight. So I'm hoping that your front door is kind of like mine a little bit where, you have some glass in there so that there's some light coming in. If that's not the case, you may want to get it near to a window where you can actually, have some light coming in. But it really needs to have light, because if it doesn't have that light, then it's not going to survive. I hate to say it, but that's just the truth. It's not going to survive. So you really do need to put it in it. You need to bring it inside, first of all. And secondly, you need to make sure that it's getting enough sunlight. So that's as far as, the tropical type plants goes. Because I have my crotons, if you saw my last video where I decorated my front porch, and I've had that croton for maybe about 4 years now, maybe 5 years, same as the large chrysanthemum that I have there too. And the chrysanthemum, that can stay outside if you're maybe say up to zone 7, you can keep it outside. Just put it close to your house. It's not out in the, like the heavy wind and those breezy, cold breezes that come through. And if you have that, then what you can do is you can for the crotons, that is, you can just bring them in. And I did repot mine. I showed you how to repot that as well in the autumn playlist. Say once they start to get to a certain size, you repot them with things like croton, things like lemon, any other tropical type plant. You have to bring them in, guys, before the first. If you have orchids outside, then you want to make sure that you bring your orchids in. And that way they're protected. And those have to come in even earlier than the other ones. You can't even wait until a hard freeze. For orchids, you have to make sure that you're bringing them in before the temperature, the overnight temperature, that is, gets below 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So once it gets to 55, just keep an eye on the weather. And if it gets to that point, then you'll want to make sure that you're bringing them in. And again, guys, they need sunlight. So you have to put them in an area where they'll get sun. What I will say, though, is to make sure that if you put them next to a window, don't have the leaves touching the window, because when it heats up in the daytime, the heat from that on the windows can actually burn the leaves. So put them near to the window, but don't have them touch the window. So that's what I would say. And guys, if you're getting your questions answered, you like the interaction, be sure to give me a thumbs up, guys, because it does help, as far as my live video being recommended out to other people who might not be watching. So let's take a look at the some more comments here. Pastor McFarlane says, thank you for the tips. Apostle took your advice and put baking soda in the soil of his tomatoes. And I see Epsom salts. Okay, so Bruce, you're definitely one of my regular viewers, and you did say Epsom salts. So it is, and she did correct herself too. So wonderful. Yes, so it is Epsom salts. So you put those on your tomatoes, when you're planting them in the spring, you put them in the soil, and I did a video on that as well too, so you can always check that out. But when it comes to maintaining them, you want to make a solution of 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts to 2 gallons of water, which is a standard size for a typical watering can. And I have mine right here, so I'll show you. So guys, this is a standard size right here, the standard watering can. So if you're using that, then that'll work. Just put two tablespoons of Epsom salts in there with the water. I keep saying salts. My husband says it's salts, not salts. I guess that comes from smelling salts. I don't know. But anyway, so you put the 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt in your container, and you just fill it up, the standard size watering can. And you just fill it up with water. Shake it before it's filled up though, so it dissolves properly. And then you just water your tomatoes with that, and then you will be good to go. All right, so that's as far as that part goes. Next, we have some larger projects. And again, some of these may be things that you do yourself, or you may get someone to do it. It's just something to bear in mind. This is kind of like a checklist in a sense, to give you an idea as to what you can do, whether you can do it yourself, you're going to get someone to do it for you. Either way, these are things that you need to get done. So this one, you can always touch up your ear with some fresh paint. You can go ahead and little spots here and there. You can just get a little paint. I like to paint. I find it so relaxing. I just go in and I paint inside. My husband sometimes will get help depending on what it is, help to paint. But that's something that you do in that time of year because it's cooler. And so that way you don't have to worry too much about, being out there in the heat, or, people willingness and availability of people to actually paint it for you, as opposed to doing it in the winter. You want to get that cleared out before it gets really cold out there. So you can touch up little areas around your home with some paint, or sometimes just a trim around your windows. Because I've seen it sometimes. People, the window around their, the trim around the window on their house, it is peeling and it just causes the house to look so shabby. But if they just go in and just get someone to just paint the trim, and they're not going to charge you a whole lot to do it, it makes a very big difference in the appearance of your home. So I would definitely say yes, guys, go in and just, and it's good to inspect your house. I heard someone say that to my mom when I was growing up in Jamaica. They said it's good to go around and inspect your house. And it's not that you're being vain or anything or being prideful. It is something that you need to check, even your garden, because I'm telling you, there are times I go out there and I don't go out there maybe like for 3 days, and I go there just like, where did this come from? You might see some weeds popping up. You may see mushroom out there. You may see like you have an insect infestation, just different things. So that's as far as the garden goes. But even your house, just check. Does this little area need to be touched up or anything? Just looking for things like that. And then again, guys, be sure to give me that thumbs up if you're getting good information here, because it sends a good signal over to YouTube that, you're getting some information from the video. So I do see Johnson Home Decor said, good evening, Miss Marlene. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's Mondell. And she always joins me on my live. And I'm always so glad to have you, my dear. She has a wonderful channel as well, guys. Too. If you haven't subscribed to her yet, be sure to check her out. She absolutely does some wonderful, wonderful decorations inside her home, and sometimes on our porch as well, too. She was also a part of the recent collaboration that we did where we decorated our front porch for the upcoming fall season. So definitely, guys, check her out there. You'll get some useful information, just like I said for Clarissa Card on her channel as well, too. And she says, be sure to repot them before bringing them in. Absolutely. So she had an experience of bringing a pot in where there was an anthill that I did not notice. Oh, that sounds so bad already. I can just imagine. Had to have my home exterminated. Never did that again. Absolutely. That is so funny. And it's so funny you said that, because we were just talking about getting your house cleared of cobwebs before the season changes, because the spiders, they love, love, love when the season is changing. So guys, definitely look for those insects on there. They have insecticidal soap. You can get those from your garden center. Just go ahead and spray the plant a couple of days before with your insecticidal soap. When you have done that, you wash it off with your hose if they're still there, and just be gentle if it's a gentle plant, that you might damage with a hose. Or you can just use a watering can. That's what I do with mine. I just get a watering can, fill it up with some water, and then I just go ahead and I just rinse them off. And then when they're fully dried and you're clear and secure, then you make sure that you bring them in, and then you'll be safe. You don't have to worry about that. And my husband is in the background. He just reminded me of something that happened very recently. So I have chrysanthemums and other plants around my back porch as well, too, right? And I went around there and I looked, and guess what? I saw that a little frog was in there and he jumped out as soon as I opened the door. So that's another thing again, guys, when you're bringing your plants, and it's not just insects, there are other little creatures that may be in there. So do it in the daytime, first of all, so you can see everything that's going on, bright sunshine. You may want to tap the pot a few times too if needs be, because sometimes it may even be like little lizards, they may be hiding in there. So you want to make sure that those guys are getting away from you and not giving you any problems. And you said Epsom salt is good for roses too. Yes, for most plants actually, because it's the magnesium in there that the plants need, which is a part of the structure, of the chlorophyll. I'm getting too textbook now, but it's basically what that is. It's the magnesium in the chlorophyll, which is what gives it the green color, and that basically, helps your plants to have that nice green color and to develop properly. If the leaves are producing enough food for the plant, then of course your plant's going to be very healthy and be absolutely gorgeous, and it will reward you with wonderful fruits and vegetables, wonderful blooms, and all of what you wanted when you put the plant there. All right, so that's as far as that part goes now. So just be careful when you're bringing your plants indoors. Those tender tropical plants, that you are checking for all of those things. No insects, no little animals, lizards, frogs, whatever they may be. So just be on the lookout for those guys. And so I spoke about painting your house a little bit, or getting it painted a little bit. But the next thing is what's called caulking. I don't have anything to show you regarding that, but it's actually something that comes in a tube, and you actually use it to seal, like, little, because you may have little areas in your home that develop over time where you have that little cracks, and those are places where you can actually have air escaping. Either you have the warm air going out, or you have the colder air coming in. So you want to make sure that those cracks are sealed with the caulking, so that way it helps with all of that. And in some areas, so it just helps to keep water away, maybe from your sink or something like that. It helps to kind of like, proof it. And of course, my husband, he's very handy. He brought one to show you what it looks like. So I was telling you, it's in a little tube like this, and they take the top off, and then they can just go ahead and they put it along on the creases inside the house. And some of these things are things you can do yourself, or you may get a professional to do it. And they have, a little instrument that they put it in. He has one here. And he actually uses it to put it in there. As you can see, it's a little bit messy because it has the caulking on there, but that's what we use to do it. So caulking, very important around those little cracks that may form around your windows, different areas like that you need to secure to prevent, all of that heat from escaping in the winter or even in the fall, depending on how early it gets. Because for us, typically about the middle of October, I'm in the southern United States, not Florida though, and it gets usually, it starts to get pretty cold about that time. So we typically have to turn the heat on. So you don't want to have your heat escaping. And even honestly, when you have the air conditioning going, you don't want to have your cold air escaping out, that you're, and having your energy bill to be so sky high. We know how that goes these days. Everything is up. So whatever we can do to conserve, we'll also do it. So he said also check windows and doors for insulations. And that's the next one again too, where you actually want to make sure they have little strips that you can put other strips down the length of the door, or you can put sometimes even just a little, it's like a little barrier, maybe like about this thick, honestly, and you stick it under the bottom of your door, and you can actually prevent a lot of drafts from coming in, or your air, your warm air from escaping out. And like this is a strip right here. This one, you stick this in the door and you make sure it's secure in there. So as you can see, the front is thinner than the back. So you stick it in, and I'm telling you, you might be surprised. These things, they save you so much money in your utility bills. You'll actually see a difference over time that you're saving money when you make sure that all of these little areas where, your heat or your cold, if it's in the summertime, is escaping. So that way, for sure that, you're doing the best to make sure that your house is as efficient as possible. Okay, so let's see now. It says Bruce also, she says to check windows. She said, oh, yes, so nice. He's behind the scenes on the live. Yes. Yes, Mondale. He was actually before the camera a little bit, just his hands though. So, we're moving a little bit in that direction because he did show how to use the fire extinguishers. Can you come and show us again, please, for those who just joined us? Because we have people coming on and off the live. And I understand that because people have different things that they have to do. Some people stay with me the whole time. I love you, love you, love you so much. But some people are just only able to come for part of the time. And I'm happy to have you for that time too. So can you come and show them how to use the fire extinguisher, because this is a small one that I said is linked in the description box below for Amazon, and the larger one is good to have one in your kitchen and one in your maybe your garage, or like another part of your house, just to, if in case a fire comes about. So he's gonna go ahead and show you guys. I know how to use it too, but I just wanted him to do it for you. So I'm gonna move out the way just a little bit, and he's gonna show you how to use it. And it's good to know this so that when the time comes, just like having a fire escape plan in your house, you need to know it before the incident happens. Of course, we pray to God that we never have to have that issue, but just in case, he's going to show you really quick, how to use this. So there you go. So he's going to go ahead and take it out of the case. If you could hold it up a little bit more for them, that would be awesome. And then up some more so they can see it. And the pin is right there, guys. So you pull the pin out because that's really for safety, to make sure it doesn't just go off randomly. And you're going to go ahead and make sure that there's a button on there that he's showing you right there. And you're going to spray that. But you want to make sure that you aim it at the base of the fire, guys, and just sweep from left to right or from the right to left. And so that way, you'll be safe and secure. So you are good to go. So that's what I was saying there, just to make sure that, your prevention, that you are all set with that. So thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. And Mondale, I know you came in a little bit after we had shown it the first time, so I hope that was very helpful to you. I know your husband helps you a lot because I've seen him in your videos as well too, so I know that he'll be on top of that. He said, "Good job, Marlene Subby." Yay! Applause. Let's give him that. Okay. All right. So then we were looking at things to do inside the house, and I think we covered all of those. And do you guys have anything that you guys do? I'd love to see your comments about that, because obviously I don't know everything. We're all in here to learn, and this is one of the main reasons why I did start my YouTube channel, because I got information from YouTube when I was going through some medical issues. Once getting to that stage of life as a female, there are certain things that you go through, and it was very useful to me. And it was just not within the medical side, but even like fashion, because my weight had changed. I had to change clothes, and it kind of like helped me to figure out what to wear, what was in, what was not, and just different things. There's so many things that it helps you with on there. So I wanted to do that as well too, to help people. So that's why I did it. So if you guys have anything that you do at your home that you help to prepare inside the home, decoration is very obvious. Of course, we did touch on that already, that it helps you out so much, to beautify your space. When you come in from the cold and your house is nice and warm and everything is clean and just organized, because women hate clutter. I'm not saying that men don't, but I think women hate clutter more than men do. That's just my feeling. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. Put it in the chat, guys. But when you come home and the house is clean, everything is organized, and you just sit down and you relax after a hard day's work or whatever you were doing, volunteer work, whatever it is that you do, been to church or whatever the case is, go down on a fun trip or whatever, and you come in, it's just always so nice. Everything is just warm and inviting. So when you decorate your space, it helps. And it doesn't even have to be that it, is your home. It can be a recreational center that you wanted to decorate for the season. It could perhaps be maybe your church that you wanted to decorate just to change it out a little bit, to welcome the season in. There are different places that you can do it. So there's so many options, guys. So let's see. Oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Grace of God. That's what I say every day. Had it not been for him, because I've been through some things. Okay, so Clarissa said, "I'm in the Carolinas, so be sure to watch out for, oh my goodness, for snakes as well if you're in the south." Yes, we're in the southern area. I don't tend to see them too much. They're probably hiding off, which is just fine by me. Once I saw one, it was maybe like, the thickness was maybe like about this thick. So it wasn't that big of a snake, and maybe like about this long. And I said, "That's a really huge earthworm." I was out there with my younger son. I said, "That's a really huge earthworm. Why is he so big?" And then I saw the little tongue part that sticks out. I said, "Oh my gosh, it is actually a snake." And they said, normally if you see a smaller one, the mother might be around somewhere. So I said, "It's good that you're not over here. There's nowhere really to hide," because you clear out the brushes and so on to make sure you're not giving them places to hide. So, it was a baby. And when I flipped it over, because we kind of like, we took it out, we had to. But when I flipped it over after it had died, you could see the markings across the body. And that's why I said this is definitely a snake. It was not a large earthworm. So yes, be sure to watch out for snakes as well. It says they love to curl up in warm places like your flower pots. Yes, so guys, be on the lookout for those. Absolutely. So if anybody has anything else, then definitely, go ahead and add it on in. And I think I did miss a comment here from Mondale from Johnson Home Decor. She says, Miss Marlene, your channel is very helpful. I learned so much from you. Thank you so much for all the info. Absolutely, because like I said, YouTube has helped me in the past and even still ongoing. And I get great ideas from you guys as well too about how to fix my space, sometimes how to clean something a certain way so it's more effective, all of that. So I absolutely appreciate every single one of our creators on there. And it could be inspirational too, like the McFarlanes, they're an inspirational channel that's there as well too, to uplift you, to encourage you, to keep you going forward. All of them, they have their own part to play. Of course, there's some things that happen negatively on the platform. We can't do anything about that. All we can do is just do the best that we can do, in our ministry that we're doing, because it is a ministry, whether you believe it or not, because you are helping people. You're helping them with some area of their life. And sometimes you may not need, like I said, you may not need it today. It may be irrelevant to you today, but in time to come, you go back. Because I've watched videos that are like 10 years old and it's still very relevant. There may be some things like technology that may not be as important because, it's older stuff. So it's kind of like, it's old, it's not relevant. But you could be a student, you need to write a paper, and you have to go back and look at old stuff on there anyway to see how they used to do it as compared to how they do it now. So you just never know. So even those, they still have their place. I would say definitely, guys. And again, guys, be sure to give me that thumbs up. That thumbs up, I can see them. If you're getting, value, getting information, or you're just, hanging out and relaxing, that's fine too. So Bruce says, yes, and copperheads use a long stick to clear the leaves and shrubs. Yes, and I did that too in the spring. I'd made sure I got something really long that I kind of like put it out there. Was like, let me go ahead and check before I go in. You may have seen one of my videos, the iris one. I said, let me make sure, because there was a moth in there and he was camouflaged so well. Tiny and cute, but nevertheless, he was camouflaged and I did not see him until I was right up on him. So I said, you know what? Let me just, going forward, just use a stick and just, go back and forth a little bit and check to see what's going on there. So yes, and if you actually have those animal control, and as I said, some of these fall projects, it may not be a case where you actually are going to do it yourself. It could just be a case you get the professionals to do it, and that's fine. If you don't have the budget for it, then of course you can try to do it yourself. But there's some things that you definitely want to get help with doing those. So now we're going to look at the outside chores. If you're in an apartment, and you don't have that outdoor space, there's still things in here for you too that, can help you out. So if you have a lawn, it's that, keep mowing your lawn. They always say keep going until, I would say like after just before the first frost, or right after that, you mow your lawn one last time and just leave it there, because sometimes, the weather is kind of like, especially if you're in the southern United States like I am, the weather, sometimes they say it's bipolar, because you'll get warmed up and then all of a sudden you have a cold front coming, or you figure everything is cool now, we're good to go. And it might be warm for a whole week. And then you have the weeds coming up again because the first frost or hard freeze did not kill them. So, just watch the weather, see how it's going. And just like I said, mow your lawn for one last time. And as Bruce was saying earlier in the chat, you also want to make sure that you are, just checking for the I think it was leaves you had said, like to rake your leaves, because I did put that in a previous video that I did. And again, guys, my autumn playlist is there. Be sure to check it out when you have time. It's a couple of videos in there that I've put in over time, but they're very useful, and it has a lot of what I'm talking about right now to maintain your your garden mostly, but some of it is a little bit about stuff inside as well too. So definitely you want to remove the leaves, because what happens is when the leaves fall, you can get mold spores on them. And sometimes you may even see like the little spots on the leaves. Sometimes it's mold spores. And then you wonder why you're having allergies in the fall. Because some people like, I have allergies in the spring and I have them again in the fall. Why is that? Well, the reason is because in the spring, it's usually like your grasses, your tree pollen that hits you hard in the spring. But in the fall, it's actually mold spores. The leaves fall on the ground. You may have some rain coming in. And then when the rain comes in, and then it dries out. The mold is under between the leaves, and they start to develop under there because that's what they like. They like when it's damp and when it's dark, and they have something that they can grow on. And that's basically it for molds. And then when they produce those mold spores, they come off. You go out there for a little bit and you start sneezing. Sometimes it come inside the house. You open the doors, it comes in. And again, back to the same subject of changing your filters for your vents. Those are very useful. Some people have the cleaner so they come in and they clean out the house so they don't even have to work. Especially if you have like high sensitivity, you have, certain type of immune disorders, and you'll definitely want to make sure that you invest in vents for inside your house. So that's as far as mowing the lawn one last time, as well as clearing off, raking your leaves. And that's probably going to be something that repeats. So don't just leave them there and be like, oh, they're all going to fall off. Because I know people who actually do that. They say more is going to fall, so I'm not going to bother to rake it. But you really should, because if you just leave them there like for 3 weeks, that length of time, you have the mold spores building up under there. And that can make, have you have those allergies and things like that, guys. So just be mindful of that. If you don't have the time, I get it. I understand that. The next thing again too is as far as the leaves are concerned, some people burn their leaves. They have a large land space and they can burn the leaves. I'll just say, guys, just be very careful if you're going to be burning leaves. Make sure, first of all, that it's okay for the area that you live in. If you're living in a subdivision or some kind of a community, make sure that it's safe, that it's clear in your area where you live as well, that you can burn leaves. If you can, then definitely don't do it. Just bag them. But if you are going to do it, again, make sure that you are prepared in case for some reason you'd have some kind of fire developing. God forbid that should happen. But make sure you have your hose handy so if for some reason that happens, you can put it out right away. And again, this guy here, good to have this as well too. The fire extinguisher, which is linked below there. The next thing, guys, is to trim your perennials. That would be your flowers that come back year after year. And I just brought you a couple of them here. These are the dried parts right here. These were actually cone flower. This is not what they look like in the spring at all. These are the seed heads that were left behind. And I leave out a couple of them sometimes because the bird is this beautiful yellow bird. I forgot what its name is. Absolutely gorgeous. It's yellow and black. And when I say it, I'm talking about like a banana yellow. It is so beautiful and they love these. The other day I was coming in and I saw one perched on one of them right by my mailbox. I thought, oh, look at my little welcomer. Welcoming me in. So, but trim them off, once you figure that you don't want them there anymore, because they can be a little, messy sometimes. Ones like these don't hold together as well as I'd like to, because sometimes you can spray them and you can use them in your decoration. You can spray them gold or silver or just some other color that you like. And you can use them in your, like a floral arrangement like this, for example. This would go really good in there. Tell me what you think, guys. I think it looks really good in there. But sometimes the seeds don't hold up, they kind of start shedding off. So it could be a little bit messy. So it just depends on what type you're doing. And then we also have here, like these. This is like hydrangeas. These are dried. And for these, you have to be careful with them when you're cutting them. Don't cut them too far down because they actually bloom in the spring. Beautiful, beautiful late spring. They have beautiful blue or sometimes pink flowers depending on the pH, acidity of your soil. It may be pink or purple or sometimes blue. Mine are usually blue based on how my soil is. But you want to cut them off just a little bit at the top. Don't go too far down because if you go too far down, you're going to cut off the buds that would develop for the spring. And then you'll be there wondering, Marlene said to cut them off. Why is my hydrangea not blooming? So just cut a little bit off the top, or you can wait until the spring. That's typically when I do mine. I did these because I'm making something with them for a wreath that I have coming up on a collaboration on Wednesday of next week. So I hope you'll join me for that one. I'll talk about the collabs coming up a little bit too. But yeah, so, deadhead them, cut them off like your roses and so on, trim them back so your garden can look nice and neat. And you can have all of that done there. The next thing again too, because some people said that they're not green thumbs. I kind of get it. I feel like everyone really can be. It's just a matter of getting information. Honest to goodness. I'm not even lying to you. I'm so serious. Because most times people either overwater or underwater, and then they figure the plant died because it didn't like them, or they just plants don't like them or whatever. But it's just a matter of the information. But guys, if you don't have a green thumb, plant bulbs. These are some daffodil bulbs right here. They kind of look like an onion. And I saw a lot of them at Walmart today, different types, daffodils. They have tulips, all different kinds, the ones that bloom in the springtime. So you wouldn't plant the ones that bloom in the summertime, like gladiolas or other ones like that. But yes, guys, so get your bulbs and plant them. I just saved a couple of these to show you because I was changing them over to a different pot because they dry down in the late summer to fall, and they look like this. All the leaves are gone; they just fall right off. So you just clear those off, and when if you have it, and I also have a video there that tells you about daffodils, how to plant them, how to get the best show, for color. But guys, I'm telling you, if you don't have a green thumb or you feel like you don't have one, plant some bulbs. Just try them, I promise you, and put them in a container. Don't want to try to put them in the floor, but if you figure it's gonna be a fail, you know what I mean? Just because. For the first time, and the video is there, guys, just check it out. But it, daffodils or whatever, just plant them in a container, a nice large flower pot. Put a lot of them in there. You can mix different types and just watch them come off. And then when they fade on and they start to dry, you can just trim them off. You can move it to the back somewhere else if you don't want to see the yellowing leaves, but just trim them all the way down and you will be all set to go. You'll have some beautiful flowers that are fresh from the garden in your yard. So that's as far as bulbs go. So try them, guys. Just give them a try. I definitely would. Because honestly, when I came from Jamaica, as you know, I'm born and raised in Jamaica. I've been here over 20 years now. But when I came over here, the plants were different. I studied plants in college. I did that. So that's why I kind of have a background information. But honestly, I had to learn everything all over again because the plants were not tropical. We didn't have like bulbs on there. We didn't have autumn where the leaves are changing colors or anything like that. I got books, I watched videos, of course, I also lean back on some of the information I had before to kind of adapt some of the stuff. But, you can learn, you can become successful at it. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of research, and you'll be good to go. That's as far as your bulbs go. The next thing now is to plant your cool weather flowers. So the cool weather flowers, and I'm gonna try to do another video for you guys showing you those because for the previous one it was mostly about the ones that are specifically for fall, like your chrysanthemums and so on. But the cool weather ones that you want to plant would be things like pansies. Pansies, I love them. They're so hardy. They hold up in the cold weather. If it's frost that's coming out, a little bit of cold. I'm not sure, maybe like for zones that are really cold, like maybe zones 4 and 5 and so on. But if you're in say, up to zones 6, you are okay with pansies. The cold will come and you'll still see them standing out there like a trooper. The snow melts off and they're still there, the pansies. So look for those. Also, violas are their cousins, or sometimes they put in the same category, but you can plant those. You also have kale. And some of you probably eat kale and you maybe have had kale chips or you have kale in salads or different things. Well, these are the ornamental ones. And I also have a video in my autumn playlist that shows you how to plant those as well too. So you can try some kale, just do a little container, with a couple pansies in there and a couple kale. But those you have to do them though when it gets colder. Like say middle of October, late October, you'd put those in before the first hard freeze. But once it's cool enough, because they are cool weather flowers. And the next one again is Dianthus. You may have seen my Dianthus before in previous videos. I love, 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 love them. And I did show them in the one I just did. Well, not the last one about the front porch, the one previously about going to Home Depot, one of my garden centers that I go to. And there I actually, showed you them, some dark colored ones. The ones that I have, they're a very light pink, so they're more lively in the springtime. But they bloom twice per year. They bloom in the fall, a little bit less. But they come to life, I tell you, like in the middle of spring. They are absolutely gorgeous, guys. So that's another one too, Dianthus. So check out that video, guys. You'll see some, of those plants that you can get, for the fall. And in the playlist, you have one some for the cooler weather. And I'll, do upcoming videos that shows you about those as well too. And so we talked about the the bulbs and the tulips and so on. And I just wanted to pause for a moment to talk about some upcoming collaborations, guys. That we have going. There's one for a wreath that you can decorate a wreath. And those will be, you'll get to see them as we go along. I'll also put them in my community tab. I need to add those two in there as well too. You can just go to my channel icon, slide on over, and then you will see where I'm going to put it. So that one isn't in there yet, but I'll add them. And there's 2 of them coming up. One for the 21st to create a wreath. And if you're someone that is not one of, the people that, make these type of videos, you can just join us, put your notification bell on, tap it twice. And if you haven't subscribed today and you're watching my channel, I do hope that you will, hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell twice so that we can, be told, you'll know, so that we can decide what you wanted to watch. A little bit of thirst there. So that's coming up. The wreath one is on the 21st. And then we have one, we're going to decorate any space in your home. And that one is by Deborah Cabasa, where you're going to decorate any space in your home for fall. So we're going to be doing those collaborations. So I'm just putting a plug in there for that. And also, guys, if you're one of our creators, guys, with a small C, of course, I always say that. But if you're one of our creators that's on here, because I see a couple of you on here, just bear in mind that, even though we do YouTube and it is a part of our life, just make sure that you have, that balance, make sure your family's along with you. Not that they have to watch your videos all the time or whatever, but just that you check in on them and you're not so focused on it that you're ignoring that, because as I always say, we only have one life. We don't get a takeover. So make sure that your family is always along with you, checking on them to make sure that everything is okay, because these are different times that we're living in. You just want to make sure that you keep tabs on everyone, that everybody is a-okay. So Clarissa says, I love pansies. Yes, that's one of my favorite flowers, actually, because not for like cut flowers or, the typical ones, because when everything else, has given up, they're still there. And they're so gorgeous, the purple and white ones, you have the yellow ones, orange, whites, and they're not hard to maintain, they're pretty easygoing. So that's as far as the those go and the collaborations. And then the next thing now is that if you have a garden, you'll want to make sure that you put mulch around your plants. And mulch, if you're not sure what it is, it's just that they grind up like tree barks. And you said, oh, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Oh, absolutely. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, guys. It helps to get my video out. Because a lot of people too, they watch it afterwards, because like I said, I know that people have things that they're doing and they can pop in a little bit, pop out, whatever, or sometimes they just watch it after the fact, which is fine. I appreciate every single one of you. But when you give it a thumbs up, and I can see them, when you're doing them, it actually helps to let the YouTube know that it's something that is giving good information, or whether it's entertainment or whatever, and they will go ahead and recommend that other people see it. And some people give the thumbs up after the live, which is fine. Either way, I'm good at it. I just appreciate you doing that. So yes, guys. So much like I was saying, it's just grounded up like tree. It may be like pine bark mulch. They grind it. That's my favorite one that I like. Just it has a kind of earthy look that I like. Some people may use pine straw. I really don't like that one because it's just too messy to me. That's more like for trees and stuff, but like for your flower beds or your little container gardens, the ones that are, like you have cypress mulch, pine bark mulch. Some people may use that little stones in there. It just depends on what you're going for. But it helps to keep weeds out in the summertime, and it also helps to protect. It helps to protect your plants from the extra cold weather that's coming, because it's kind of like a blanket. Just think how you feel when you're under that blanket, when you're, in, because like you have your heat on, your house feels different in the winter than it does in the summertime. The temperature may say the same thing, but it feels colder in the house. Well, to me, it does. And I think we have pretty good insulation. So guys, so definitely I would say, just make sure that you're putting that mulch on. It's like a nice little blanket that's over them. It keeps the weeds out in the summertime, in the springtime, and so on. And so your plant will do well. And also it also retains moisture so they don't dry out as quickly. Earning tips for you says hello. So hello and welcome. We're having our live chat right now. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So, and we're getting through some topics here that's going to be helping you as far as, taking care of your home and your garden. And I'll run through really quickly, in a little bit too, the different things that we looked at. So like I said, make sure that you get mulches, excuse me, that you get mulch and put that around your flower beds and your container gardens and so on. Another thing I forgot to tell you too is that when I was talking about deadheading your perennials, which would be, like your plants, like I was showing earlier, like this right here, like you cut all the dried parts off of there. Collect the seeds, guys. This is obviously quite a bit of seeds here from my purple coneflower. So typically what I do is I'll give some away to my neighbors if they want them. So keep your seeds, put them in a nice little brown paper bag. When you put them in that nice brown paper bag, then it's going to keep them dry. And once it's kept dry, then you'll have them for the next season. When spring comes around, you can go ahead and plant them. It could be the same thing for your vegetables too. Other types of flowers, you'll definitely want to have those. So definitely highly recommended, guys, that you save your seeds and you make sure that you have them so you can use them for the next time. Only word of caution I would say is that as far as your seeds go, because you're putting them in the same area. If you're putting them in a different area, you can keep using them all the time. But if you're putting them in the same area, then you'll want to make sure that you're not doing it for too many years in succession, because it's the same plant that's taking the same, nutrients from the soil. So you want to make sure that you maybe like for 3 years, because even my tomatoes, I'll put tomatoes and peppers and I'll do that for 3 years and then I'll switch them out. Because if you're planting vegetables, you notice that if you put the same thing like every single year, you'll find that after a while they don't perform as well, because the soil is even if you amend the soil, it just needs a rotation. So you could put something else, try some beans instead, or just, easy to grow stuff, because those are easy, like pumpkins. And when I say pumpkins, I mean squash. That's what we call them in Jamaica, but they're pumpkins. That's what we call them, the ones that you eat. You can try those, different types of, like I said, different types of squash, zucchini, there are other things, beans, tomatoes, peppers. Those are very easy. And I, have videos that show you, like in my springtime videos that show you, how to take care of those and get everything going good there. That's as far as your seeds go. Make sure that you have all of that taken care of. And like I was saying, make sure that you, we spoke about painting before, but also just take a look at some of the trim that's around your home. If you're a homeowner, just make sure that you're making sure that, because sometimes the wood over time, you will need to trim them, because over time they get weathered and they don't look so good anymore. So you want to make sure that those are okay. So if you have to switch them out, you have to switch them out. And like I said, always make sure, guys, that you're inspecting your home. And it's not a matter of vanity or anything like that. Just keep checking to make sure that everything, is being kept. Because sometimes in just a few days, you'd be surprised at things that can happen either in your home, the garden itself, or just the actual structure of the home. Things can change, overnight. So just keep an eye on those things and make sure that they are okay. So I'm going to do a quick review. So done from my side. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So for that thumbs up. So just to go over everything, make sure I cover everything here. Bruce says, yes, save seeds for a good crop like pumpkins. Yes, even that too. Sometimes we'll go, and my husband, he will get like a really nice pumpkin. It's just like, oh, this pumpkin was so dry and so nice and it had a good flavor. And he's like, let's save the seeds, and we'll save the seeds and we'll plant them so that way we can benefit from the nice one that we bought. Because sometimes you buy something and you're just like, this one wasn't good. Not a lot of flavor or anything like that. So definitely, save those seeds. So we're talking about just wrapping up the different things now. So like your air conditioning vents, make sure that you're getting those changed out, for the season. Your batteries for your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide detector, make sure that those batteries, and make sure that you like your chimney, get a professional to clean it. If you use it very often, then you want to make sure that every now and every few years or so you have a professional come and clean it for you. And it can be dangerous. So going on top of your house, that's something I recommend for the professionals, definitely. But it's important because the buildup inside of your fireplace and your chimney can actually cause fires inside your house, guys. So it's very important if you use it like all the time and you have a wood burning fireplace. If you have one that's just all gas, you're good to go. You don't have anything to worry about there. So that's as far as that part goes, making sure that you take out the cobwebs, remove all of those, check for spiders inside your house, inside your garage, all of those things. And let's see, the fire extinguishers. My husband showed you earlier how to use them, good to have this inside your kitchen. Make sure you have it, to help yourself in your garage and so on if anything should ever happen, which we hope it never will. And of course, we decorate our house. We have all of those nice fall flowers, and you can check out my autumn playlist to see some suggestions. That's the nice ones you can get for fall. You can decorate your home, with stuff from the different hobby stores, Hobby Lobby, and all of that. And just go ahead and get some of those. Even the dollar store, you have some really nice ones, because these right here, these actually from the dollar store. We use them there. So that was good. You can go glam, you can go farmhouse style, depending on whatever you want. And then, painting and caulking, the caulking I showed you. This, if there are any cracks around your windows, anything like that, you can always use this. Special tool is made to use with it, which my husband did bring out earlier. That you just put it in there, you just squeeze it. It's kind of like almost like a kind of a gun cut type of thing. You squeeze it out and it comes out and it takes care of everything. He just brought it from me. So this is what it looks like. And you put it in there and you just squeeze it through there. It's a little bit messy, but yeah. Okay, so as far as that goes, that's caulking and painting if you need to inside or out. And we said to keep mowing your lawn, make sure you keep on top of that. Clear off all the leaves that may be going through there. Don't allow mold spores to build up, especially if you have allergies. That can be a problem for you there. And so you want to make sure that you don't, wait till everything comes up on there and then you do it because maybe you don't have the time. I don't know, but just try to clear them off, to prevent that from happening. You might start sneezing and coughing and you wonder why. That would be why. Plant your cool weather flowers, like the Dianthus, pansies, violas, kale. You can always check my channel, like I said, to see suggestions on those. If you feel like you don't have a green thumb and you'd like to have some really nice blooms in your yard for spring, when spring comes around, now is the time to plant them, like your daffodils and your tulips and all the other ones that they have. You go ahead and you plant them in a container, put it by your, next to your house. You don't even have to water it, guys. I'm telling you, unless you have no rain in your area, the rain that falls, once you've planted them and you water them once, if you have rain falling every now and then, that'll be enough for the bulbs. They don't really need a whole lot. When they start blooming in the spring, then you maybe want to water them maybe like at least twice per week, and they'll be fine. They're pretty self-sufficient. I promise you. Just try it. And you can tell me later on if it worked. And then, so we talked about repairing all of those things, painting things. And any suggestion, guys, as to any videos that you'd like to see coming up, because we have October coming up. Any videos that you'd like to see me do, regarding information, just things that you figure might help you, you can put it here. The chat will still be, it's not going to be the live chat, but the chat after the live will still be available, and you can always go on and I'll see them. I always reply to everyone. I give you a heart. Sometimes my son is like, Mom, you don't have to reply to everyone, but I like doing it. I like the communication. It shows that you care. Sometimes I'll be on a big channel and they reply to me, and it's like, okay, so they are in their comments. They are replying, or if you don't want to put a comment, that's fine, but just at least give the person a heart. So they realize that, you realize that they took the time to watch your video. They took the time to give you a heart. So, show them some, appreciation for what they did. So that's as far as all of those things go, guys. And we have the 2 collabs coming up. We're going to decorate the wreath, for well, they said fall or Christmas, but of course it's early for Christmas right now. So I'm going to be doing fall because, we have a lot of fall things coming. So I'm looking to see if anybody had any ideas about any videos they wanted to see coming up. Didn't see that yet. And then the next one, so that's the 21st, the one we're going to do a wreath for fall. Well, that's what I'm going to do for that collaboration. And the next one is on the 24th, where you decorate any space in your home. So that's what we're going to be doing for that one on the 24th. So you'll see those come up. And I think I missed this comment here. You said yes. Oh, you said yes. Save your seeds for a good crop like pumpkins. Oh, yes. So we did talk about that one. All right, guys. So I hope that you got some useful information. I hope it was very helpful to you. I really hope that you're happy. You're having a wonderful time so far. I know it's coming to the close of summer. It depends on when you're going to be watching this, as far as where you'll be in the season. But I want to wish you a very happy fall season. Like I said, make sure that your family, is along with you, because the time, you'll never get the time back, that you have missed. So make sure that you spend as much time with them and your friends too, people that have been there for you and so on. Give them that time. It's important that you do that because we're not going to get that time back again. So just, interact with them, enjoy the season, and if you love to cook, by the way, it's not a cooking channel. I do plant-based snacks. So you'll see me from time to time. I'll maybe do something like with a pineapple, or, I may talk about like my sorrel that we have in Jamaica, just little plant-based things that come in. I'll do those every now and then. So you may see a couple of those pop up. I try not to do too many of those because, sometimes when your channel is for one thing, they kind of like pigeonhole you in a sense, and it doesn't get recommended as much as you would like to. So it just depends. But I do a couple of plant-based, snacks from time to time. Oh, he said do a collaboration with Thanksgiving in mind. Yes, definitely. I will certainly take a look at that. And Twitter says, enjoyed your live. Hugs and blessings. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you stopping by. And guys, be sure to check out these ladies. If you're on here, we have her channel is A Cozy Lifestyle with Clarissa Coward. And we have Johnson Home Decor that they have channels as well. They do wonderful work on there, guys. So you can just tap on their icon when you're finished here and it will take you to their channel. And you can take a look to see what they have. And of course, hit that subscribe button and tap on the notification bell once you get there, if you see something that you like, which I know you will, because they do an awesome job. So, guys, again, it's been a wonderful time that I spent with you. Like I can't do my lives every week because, again, family, friends, obligations. I get that for you and for me, of course. So I try to do them like every other Saturday. So, and you can always go on my community tab too. And when I put something that you can, even there, you can also put, like topics that you'd like to see covered on there as well too. So like I said, every other Saturday, usually at 6, on occasion it may be at 6:30, but that's typically the time that I'm shooting for. And it's kind of like freestyle. So sometimes I may do something a little different because the ones that we did before, the first one was like thanking everyone for me reaching 1,000 subscribers. I went through all of that. We had giveaways on there. Previous two ones were about like growing up in the islands, and that one was so much fun. I'm telling you, it was really good. So definitely, guys, you'll see like a little more freestyle in the lives. That's allowed. So Bruce, you said yes. I subscribe to some. Will check out others. Yes, and you have said that before, and we certainly appreciate it. So I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I certainly appreciate you. I hope to see you in the next live. Hug on your family, your loved ones, guys. Enjoy. And it's been a blessing as always sharing with you. And I hope you'll have a wonderful weekend and have a great, great next week. Take care, guys. Bye bye.